and welcome to ATA Augusta. My name is Jamie Avila and I'm a clinical dietitian here. And next to me is my colleague Joanne Kukta.
I'm also a registered dietitian and a certified diabetes educator.
March is National Nutrition Month, and our theme this year is Beyond the Table, with an emphasis on farm to fork and sustainability.
Today we are going to be preparing a plant-forward meal. Plant-forward meals are recommended by the American Heart Association and the American Diabetes Association for chronic disease prevention. Also, March is National Colorectal Cancer Awareness Month, and plant-forward meals like the one we are preparing today is recommended for prevention of colorectal cancer. Today we are going to be preparing a spicy tofu quinoa bowl, and without much further ado, we are going to get started. The first step is to preheat your oven to 400 degrees. Bite-sized pieces are what you want to cut it into. Okay, now that you have your tofu cubes, I'm going to place them on our baking dish. We have it lined with parchment paper. And now this is where the spicy part comes in. We're going to season the tofu, and you can adjust the seasoning to your spiciness level. But we're gonna take a teaspoon of chili powder and add that, a teaspoon of cumin, a half a teaspoon of oregano, an eighth of a teaspoon of cinnamon to give it that little bit of cinnamon flavor, and then we are going to top it with a teaspoon of olive oil, or you could instead, if you have like an olive oil spray, you want to use a little less oil, you can do that as well. And then I'm just gonna kind of mix this together so that it's distributed evenly throughout the tofu, our seasonings. And then you want to space out the tofu so that it cooks evenly. And now I'm going to place this in the oven at 400 degrees for 30 minutes. It should be brown and crispy after cooking.
Let's prepare our grains for today, which, as we mentioned in the title, is going to be quinoa. We're using a frozen pre-cooked version. At home, if you want to do raw, you can just follow the instructions on the package. Whole grains that are pre-cooked in the freezer or already prepared are a quick resource if you're doing meal prep. Today we're using red and yellow peppers, and like I said, red onion. Again, there's no real, way you have to do this particularly. This is more about your preference. I'm just going to chop these up into little tiny squares first, and then we're going to move on to chopping up our bell pepper. This is also another place if you wanted to do meal prep. You could probably find these you can find this in the freezer section. It's typically sold as like a fajita mix. And that may be more economical as well versus buying fresh things that are sometimes not necessarily within the season. Now that we finished preparing all of our vegetable, we're gonna saute them. We're gonna put 1 teaspoon of extra virgin olive oil in our saute pan. So we're gonna get this not screaming hot, but hot, right? So we wanna, when we place this in here, we wanna see this sizzle. You can see some nice smoke rising from there. It's very hot. Let's turn that down a little. All right. Look how beautiful this is. Very colorful, vibrant. And again, you can adjust your vegetables to what you or your family likes at home. You give these a nice saute. Gonna get a nice brown on this. A little bit of caramelization. And while these are sauteing, we're going to go and drain our beans that we're gonna add into this. And drained our beans. I got them right here. We have our beautiful vegetables. They've been browning. We are just going to toss these in. All right. And they're already cooked. We're just heating it through with our vegetables. And you can use any bean that you want. It doesn't have to be pinto. It could be black beans, white beans as well. And if you're using the canned beans like we're doing today, if you can get the low sodium version, that would be preferred. Or any version, and then rinsing it out under that water helps to get rid of some of that additional salt. Okay. And again, this is a great plant-based protein source, high in fiber as well. Also mostly inexpensive.
Now we are going to assemble the bowls. You're going to take about a half a cup of the quinoa mixture, about a half a cup of the bean and veggie mixture, and then a scoop of your tofu. And now we're gonna add your topping.
All right, so the accoutrements, you can add on whatever you like on the top, but we're gonna use spinach that we have, avocado, we have some black olives, and some salsa as well. Again, like Joanne mentioned earlier, this is gonna be available on the Go for Green and the DFAC. These are gonna be some of the items that you can choose from that are gonna be there. So just put a little slices of our avocado here. We have our nice olives for a little salinity, and as much salsa as you want. You can adjust this to how hot you want it as well. All right, and voila, we have our beautiful spicy tofu quinoa bowl. It looks amazing, Joanne.
It smells amazing. We hope you all enjoy preparing this bowl at home.
And as well as in the DFAC. Remember, look out for that later in March, okay? All right, enjoy.